a dullish grayish color, not nearly as pretty as the lady. Well, throughout the month of March and April, you start seeing the pretty lady gators laying out in the sun. And them lady gators, they're laying out there looking just as pretty as they can be, minding their own business, not bothering anybody. And everywhere you see one of them pretty lady gators laying out in the sun, you're going to find a big old male gator snooping around and creeping around in the weeds in the water right below her. And that male gator, he goes underwater, he blows bubbles, he spins circles, he shakes and shimmies and rocks and rattles and rolls, does anything he can to try to show off to the lady. Finally, after about a month of that nonsense, that female gator, she gets sick and tired of hearing it, and she just kind of concedes and says, all right, hush up, come on. I'll be your wife, let's go get married and go on a honeymoon. So at that point, they go back in these little creeky areas off the main beaten path, and they go on a honeymoon. Well, after that honeymoon's over with, they come back out here to the main beaten path. Now, y'all probably gonna find this hard to believe when I tell you, but would you believe that after that honeymoon's over with, them big old male gators get kind of tired and lazy and useless? That's hard to believe.
You don't say.
Yeah, that's the way them crazy gators behave.
Yeah, and she's left with all the babies.
The female gator, on the other hand, about 30 to 50 eggs begin developing inside of her body. And then in the May time frame, without any help from that young man, she goes back into the woods and digs a hole and builds a nest. And then in the June time frame, she goes back to that nest and lays her eggs. 30 to 50 eggs. She then covers them eggs up, builds a dirt mound over the top of them, and that initiates a 60 to 65 day incubation period. Now, right up here, right beyond or behind this log that's coming out the water of this tree, there's a gator laying up on the bank there, a small one.
Yeah, I see him.
Keep an eye on that black thing. It's when we came in earlier, it was facing us, but now it's kind of facing away from us.
Right there. See it?
The gator.
Dark.
Oh, it's right by the leaves.
Check it out.
Okay, straight ahead.
That's about a 3-foot gator right there. Not necessarily a baby, but a juvenile. But the way you can tell a gator's size, if you get an estimate of the distance between the back of the hind legs to the tip of its nose,
There you go.
that's half of its length. Back of that, and that was a female gator. I don't know if y'all noticed how black and shiny her back was. Female.
Oh, is that? Yeah, there's I see a head sticking out of the water.
There's another one over there.
Yeah.
Where do you see?
Well, it's underneath that. Kind of went back
There's
in.
a couple of them that hang out of here. Sometimes we'll see one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, right there. Yeah, right there. Right there, see?
No.
Right
Yeah, the one I saw was going back into there. But it was staying on the surface and it was moving.
Yeah, when you see a gator in the water, usually all you'll see is just the heads on
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. So here's a way you can gauge a gator's size when they're in the water. From the distance from the tip of the nose back to the eyes, that in inches will tell you how many feet a gator is. So if it's 3 or 4 inches from the tip of the nose to the eyes, 3 or 4 foot gator. If it's 12 or 13 inches from the tip of the nose to the eyes, you've got about 10 to 12 feet behind that head. Oh yeah. You might not see it, but it's there.